Hey everybody, Clifford Stummy here, Pop Song Professor, and if you like deep meanings in your music, you've come to a really good channel to get some of that. Today we're talking about Ode to Sleep by 21 Pilots as requested by so many people. Well, obviously tons and tons of people requested this, but a few comments got upvoted, and the winning upvoted comment, Jacob Nicholson, Ode to Sleep Please, 149 upvotes at the time of reading this, and then in second place, also Ode to Sleep with 100 upvotes by Jacob Cantrell. Didn't a Jacob win like a couple of weeks ago too or something like that? What is up with the Jacobs winning? But Beat Drops Gory All of It says, I've been suggesting Forest for 3 weeks. Please do Forest. I got 86 upvotes. You know what? I wouldn't be surprised if Forest won next week since you just got basically second this week. So, you know, keep suggesting it. Keep upvoting it. Glowing Eyes got 84. Aircatcher got 79. And then there were a ton of other comments. But you guys are so awesome. You have such good taste in music. Ode to Sleep is definitely one of my favorite 21 Pilots songs. When we did our like, what is the best 21 Pilots song of all time video a couple of weeks ago, lost to Trees, but it did make top 2, so it's obviously a very popular song, and we all know that it's a really good song. That's why you're watching this video right now. And I want to focus on a couple of things, but before I do that, I want to remind you guys to not forget to vote for your favorite song for next 21 Pilots Tuesday. Comment it, upvote it, whatever you need to do to make it happen. Second announcement is that I have moved. That's why the studio looks so different. So you can kind of see where we're at right now. Wah! New studio means a little bit of uncertainty. Obviously I haven't been posting a lot recently. It's because I've been painting and moving and putting away and sorting and all sorts of other stuff. And so that's been a ton of work, but do expect things to get onto a normal schedule very soon. Final announcement, Patreon, don't forget about it. If you are interested in getting more behind the scenes content like some super secret podcasts that are coming out soon with more information about some of the songs we explain here, it's gonna be really good. If you drive to work or you drive to school and you're listening to music, you could also be listening to podcasts. Not as fun, but still pretty cool. All right, well, let's jump into Ode to Sleep. And I want to first talk about the major theme of Ode to Sleep, and it's this idea about sleep, essentially. And what is sleep to Tyler Joseph, the writer and singer for 21 Pilots? Sleep is something very, very special to him. Let's take a look at verse 1 just to get a handle on these themes, and then I'm going to show you several other 21 Pilots songs that comment on the exact same thing. I wake up fine and dandy, so at the beginning of the day, things are going well, I'm having a good time. But then by the time I find it handy to rip my heart apart and start planning my crash landing, so he's not finding it like handy as in like he can go and build a house with it or something like that. He's just saying like he starts to do it. It starts to happen. He's ripping his heart apart. He's thinking these dark thoughts, whatever the case may be. Planning my crash landing. I go up, 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 up to the ceiling. And now this could be him just thinking in the morning as he wakes up. Or I think it really has to do more with when he's going to bed. So he's laying there trying to go to sleep. He goes up, up, up to the ceiling. He's thinking, and then I feel my soul start leaving. So the good part of him is going away, like an old man's hair receding. I'm pleading, please, oh please, on my knees, repeatedly asking. Now, people often pray on their knees, so I think he's praying to God. Why has it got to be like this? Is this living free? And the answer probably is no, it's not living free. You're a slave to these dark thoughts to some extent. I don't want to be the one to have the sun's blood on my hands. I'll tell the moon, take this weapon, forged in darkness, some see a pen, I see a harpoon. I think the sun is a reference to the next day, or to the day he just had. He doesn't want to ruin this day by thinking these dark thoughts. And now some people might say that sun there could be S-O-N rather than S-U-N, and it could be a scriptural reference, and I think that that's definitely a possibility there. In Christian lore or in just like Christian common speak, people will talk about having like, well, it maybe not, they won't reference this specifically, but there is this idea, it does exist, that when you sin, you are, that sin is the reason that Jesus had to die on the cross, and that was his blood that was spilled for, the saving of us from our sins. And so he could be saying that, like I'm reopening a wound when I sin, something like that. Which as poetry, it works. At theology, we'd have to get into a much deeper conversation about it. But I'll tell the moon, so the nighttime, take this weapon, forged in darkness, some see a pen, I see a harpoon. And that pen is him writing these songs. And so it sounds to me like he's saying that he writes songs at night to deal with some of these depressing thoughts. Now, where have we heard these themes before? 2 of themes right now. 1, writing to fix things. And 2, having that problem where when you're going to sleep, that's when the depressing thoughts hit you. We've seen these themes developing ever since the self-titled album. Ode to Sleep was released on Regional at Best first and then re-released on Vessel. But we see just these ideas all throughout 21 Pilots lore. As far as writing as therapy, Guns for Hands mentions it, Forest, Kitchen Sink, clear. I think it was something that showed up mostly in Regional at Best and Vessel. I don't remember too many in Blurry Face. No, I think he starts talking about songwriting in the context of the musical pop culture in general, rather than as like a form of therapy. Though you guys might be able to point out a song that I'm missing. But let's get back to the sleep thing, because that's the one that's really important here. After all, it is called Ode to Sleep. But there are a lot of songs about sleep. For instance, in Truce, the first verse, "Now the night is coming to an end. The sun will rise and we will try again," a reference to what happened that night before. "I will fear the night again." And then in Isle of Flightless Birds, "Believe me, you'll begin to wish you were sleeping. Your weeping will creep in your head and you'll cry, but if we wake up every morning and decide what we believe," etc., etc. So he's having that fight at night and trying to get ready for the morning, hoping that it'll be better. A Cara Torch of Death talks about this demon creeping into her room, so some other person's, and staying there for the night, so she's having the same experience. And Holding On to You is a really big one, and the windowsill looks really nice, right? You think twice about your life, it probably happens at night, right? And he talks about taking the pain, igniting it, tie a noose around your mind, all this stuff. It's really good, and it's very, very much about sleep. And Car Radio is another one that mentions sleep. There's faith and there's sleep. We need to pick one, please, because faith is to be awake, and to be awake is for us to think. Now, you will notice that sometimes he sort of flip-flops on whether sleep is a good thing or a bad thing. Sometimes he calls sleep like us, like ignoring the things around us, and sometimes, like an ode to sleep, sleep is where he really wants to be. He wants to stop thinking about these. It's almost like he has this love-hate relationship with the concept of being unconscious and just letting things happen around him. Because if he's awake when he's tired at night, when he has all of his guards down because he's just exhausted from the day, these thoughts are going to come to him and he's going to have to fight them. Now, a lot of times good things come from this fighting. In Car Radio, he's listening not to the radio anymore, but to his own thoughts, and so he comes to some conclusions about who he is, and it's important. But at other times, he just wants to be asleep. He wants to get that rest so he can start the next day. He enjoys the mornings far more than he enjoys the nights, but he understands that nights are sometimes necessary. As far as references to sleep and Blurry Face go, it was a little bit harder to find them, but I think I found one in Doubt where he says, "Scared of my own ceiling." He's talking about his image, his immaturity, and now he's scared of his own ceiling, that he'll die of uncertainty. So obviously he's laying there looking up at the ceiling, and it could be morning or it could be night, but I think it's probably night, because usually when you wake up, if you're not tired, you get up. You don't sit there and think deep thoughts usually. Not the case for everybody, but I think that he's probably at night. Not Today seems like a song after a night of fighting. It seems like it's written for the morning. So you are out of my mind, you aren't seeing my side, you waste all this time trying to get to me, but you are out of my mind. So in the morning he says, "Heard you say not today, tore the curtains down, windows open, now make a sound, hear your voice, there's no choice," and he's ready to just jump up and have a great day. So those are the big references to those lyrics that I see elsewhere. Ode to Sleep, obviously a fantastic song, but let's jump into the rest of the song. This video is going to be so long, but we are only just making it through the first verse now. So pre-chorus, "I'll stay awake because the dark's not taking prisoners tonight. Why am I not scared in the morning?" All themes we've talked about already. "It's because I don't hear those voices calling. I must have kicked them out." He had that fight, he won. Or did he? Is he a reliable narrator? In literary studies, there is a concept called the unreliable narrator, and it's when the person who is giving you this, telling you the story in the book, not necessarily the author, but the character who is seeing things, whose eyes you're looking at it through, sees things incorrectly, or lies to you, or is vain, or something like that. So has he kicked them out? You would think he would say, "I really did kick them out," instead of "I must have kicked them out," because aren't they gonna come back? "I swear I heard demons yelling, those crazy words they were spelling, they told me I was gone." Well, he wasn't. He survived the night, and here he is. "But I tell him, why won't you let me go?" Oh, so they're kind of back. Unreliable narrator. "Do I threaten all your plans? I'm insignificant. Please tell him you have no plans for me." So it's like he's asking God to say, "Demons, look, Tyler, he's not a big deal. Don't torture him. He's great. He's fine." And then Tyler says, "I will set my soul on fire. What have I become?" I'll tell him. The soul on fire, I think he's wanting to fight back. He's wanting to do this. Or maybe he wants to get rid of his soul, and so that they won't bother him for his soul anymore. And in the end, he's like, "I'll tell him. Like, if you won't tell them, God, I'll tell them. Look, I'm nobody special. Please stop bothering me." The funny part is that these torturings of Tyler have what made his music so powerful and so connectable with so many people. It's almost like the demons, if they let go of him, he wouldn't have anything left to write about. And now the last unique stanza that we have to talk about is stanza 2, and it's got some of the most confusing lines in all of 21 Pilots lore. So I'm gonna do my best. But he says, "On the eve of a day that's forgotten and fake, as the trees they await and clouds anticipate, the start of a day. But he says we put on our face a mask that portrays that we don't need grace, so we try to look like we've got it all together. The trees in the clouds waiting seems to just be kind of nature watching and forming a natural audience for people. On the eve of a day that is bigger than us, but we open our eyes because we're told that we must. That's just how life goes. We see certain themes like this pulled up and stressed out, where you have to wake up and make money. And the trees wave their arms and the clouds try to plead, desperately yelling, there's something we need. What is it that they need? And I don't think that any 21 Pilots fan really completely understands this couple of lines right here. But if you do, comment it, the world needs to know. But I think it's just kind of about how the whole world is in need of something. The whole world is broken, we're missing something. And even nature cries out with this brokenness. And so it kind of joins Tyler in this. I'm not free, I asked forgiveness 3 times, same amount that I denied a 3-time MVP this crime, which is a reference to the Apostle Peter in the Gospels when he denied that he knew Jesus 3 times. In Christian faith, like denying Jesus and saying that you don't know him is kind of a big deal, and it's kind of bad because you don't want Jesus to deny you to his Father and say that he doesn't know you. One of the big tenets of the Christian faith is to know who Jesus is, and so if you're denying that, then there's obviously like a big problem. But he says, I'm afraid to tell you who I adore. I think it's himself, who won't tell you who I'm singing towards. Metaphorically, I'm a whore, and that's denial number 4. I think that this is kind of deep, and I think he's saying that he's taking all of the things he struggles with and his relationship with God, and that he's putting it out there, and he's kind of using it to make music, but he's making it about himself, and so he's using it not for what it's meant to be. Like, he's not always glorifying God with his music, but he feels like sometimes he's glorifying himself or singing about himself too much, perhaps. And then he says, and that's denial number 4. And what is that denial number 4? Gosh, I wish that I had a 100% answer for you guys. I think he's just saying that his lifestyle or the way that he writes music is in a way to work for himself rather than to just work for God is a little bit of a denial where he puts himself first sometimes. So I think that that's a very much a loose denial, but for him it seems to be a denial nevertheless. Yeah, so Ode to Sleep, fantastic song. I absolutely love it. I think that there are hardly any 21 Pilots songs that are better than Ode to Sleep. And it encapsulates the themes and the ideas of so much of what he does. It's really, really fantastic. All right, guys, thanks so much for watching. Thank you so much for commenting, for voting for next week's 21 Pilot song. Thanks for checking out my Patreon if you are willing. And thank you for making Ode to Sleep possible this week. You guys are wonderful. Can't wait to see what you come up with next week. And I hope that we continue to be friends and that you continue to watch. Thank you, guys. Talk to you next week.